Bellator's bantamweight division continues to get deeper with the signing of former champion Kyoji Horiguchi back with the promotion now. Scott Coker announces the news this week in what is a massive, massive signing for this organization. Horiguchi, in my money, one of the best fighters on the entire planet. I will never forget Dan Lambert, the owner of American Top Team, telling me time after time that he is one of the most skilled fighters to ever walk through the doors of that gym. That is saying a lot, and is glad to see Horiguchi back on a big stage. He is still the Ryzen FF champion. We could potentially see some crossover fights, some super fights with him going back and competing under that banner, under the terms of this deal with Bellator. But he is prominently going to be competing for Bellator, which I think is a much needed thing for him at this stage in his career. Of course, he had the one-off with this organization in July of 2019, came in, took the belt off Darian Caldwell, and we were expecting some big things, some big fights from him until he tore his ACL and voluntarily gave up that belt just because he would have been out of action for too long and didn't want to hold up that weight class. Well, in his absence, bantamweight flourished into a great weight class for Bellator, one of their best in my opinion, and Horiguchi does a big number in making that division even deeper, even stronger, and I think there are some big fights ahead for him and Bellator to make at 135 pounds, but what do you do with it? That is the real question there. For my money, I think you have to put Horiguchi into the fight he wants. That is a Sergio Pettis title fight. That is the one he called for when he kind of announced he was a free agent on the American Top Team Punchin' In podcast. And I think that would be a great way to bring him back into the organization. Yes, he never lost that belt inside the cage, and I think it's right for him to get the chance right off the bat to win it back. It's just a matter of what terms do you want to put this under. A lot of talk right now of Bellator doing a bantamweight Grand Prix. I definitely think that's a division that would suit it, and I think Horiguchi and Pettis would be two people that you would most definitely put in there. But how do you want to structure it? Do you want to put them on opposite sides of the bracket and hope it comes together perfectly, like we had with AJ McKee and Patricio Pitbull in the featherweight Grand Prix? It's a big risk. There's a lot of good fighters in that division. Rafael Stotts, Magomedov, maybe James Gallagher slides in there, and I think an 8-man Grand Prix would probably do them better than a 16-man. You could try to roll the dice and see if those two make it on opposite sides, or you could book that title fight right off the bat. I know that would be putting a really strong fight out there in round one, a potential final, but I think that's the way you obviously have to do it. I think the fight we want to see is Horiguchi going for that belt, Sergio Pettis. That would be a big test for him, show if he is really that damn good, or if that Juan Archuleta performance that got him the belt was just a really extraordinary night of him rising to the occasion. So for me, you got to do Horiguchi and Pettis. That title fight makes a ton of sense. You book that late 2021, early 2022, whether it's getting the ball rolling for that Grand Prix or just a standalone fight. This is the fight to make with Kyoji Horiguchi back in Bellator.